My family bought me sugar cookies. And I know what you're thinking. Your family must love you. No, they're trying to make me fat. It's gonna work too. Steph, when you were having your realization that you're an elf, I kept thinking of the movie Elf and how that's your life but in reverse. You were taken from the North Pole and raised among us normal people. And as much as society tried to crush your Christmas spirit, it could not be crushed. That would make a good movie, kind of. Oh, also I checked out Drawn to Death. It does look really sweet. I like the concept. I like any game with a free for all, and I can totally relate wanting the next gen console just to play a particular game. I'm looking at you, Super Mario Smash Brothers. Jake. Your reaction to your finals made me laugh because it was like, what finals? What are we talking about? Traumatic experience can lead to repressing memories. So hopefully you don't have any nightmares about you need to fill in a Scantron and you only have a number 3 pencil, or writing a paper and you only need one more page to reach the minimum, but you've written everything you can on the subject. Not that that's ever happened to me. Uh, get on, Young Justice. I think you'll enjoy it. You will make a mighty Aqualad. From now on, I shall refer to you as Jake Lad. This poor kid's getting all the nicknames. Lulu, 40%. I'll give you 50 if you're on the book cover. I'm picturing one of those cheesy Fabio styles. You as Krieger's girlfriend, and me obviously as Krieger. That would be awesome. Wait, we don't need to write a book for that. That could actually happen. We should do that. That's gonna happen. And Nikki, everyone already mentioned this, but your Christmas story was so touching. Someone needs to animate that and make that into a Christmas special, because even though there was an earth-shattering revelation, you still enjoy and love Christmas. And isn't that really the point? I mean, as we grow up, the meaning of Christmas evolves for us, and I guess that's the way it should be. Is it as special as it was when we were kids? No, but most things aren't. I remember when I found out wrestling wasn't real, which was last week. I mean, how's wrestling not real? But to the point is, I learned to appreciate things for different reasons. As Nikki mentioned, Arrow and Flash threw down last week, and since it's DC week for me in a way, I'm gonna quickly talk about it. I realize I've never given my thoughts on Arrow, so here's a quick reflection. My feelings are conflicted. I like it, but I shouldn't. It's like you're dating someone who eerily looks like your ex, and that's weird. The X I'm referring to is Batman. They've added some Batman elements in CW's Arrow, and it's working. I don't know how, but it's working. But I digress. To the crossover. For a television show, the action scenes were really cool, well done. We got to see them fight, which is superhero crossover 101. If we don't see them fight, the fans are going to be disappointed. My favorite scene was when Ollie and Barry were talking about their past and what drives them, how they deal with tragedy. You really see the difference between the two. I'm sure we'll see more crossovers between these two. DC television continues to kill it. Flash keeps getting better and better. I'll probably end up liking it more than Arrow. This week's mid-season finale was awesome. Like on Flash, we got to see Reverse Flash or Professor Zoom, which, by the way, I saw coming. I knew who he was. Everyone knew, right? Right. And on Arrow, Ra's al Ghul fight, which I also saw the outcome coming because Ollie cannot take Ra's al Ghul. I'm sorry, he can't. He's not Batman. Stop trying to be Batman. Always be yourself. Unless you can be Batman, then always be Batman. Okay, I get it now. Yeah. All right, it makes sense. Continuing my countdown, here are my top 5 DC comics for the year of 2014. And number 5, Harley Quinn, written by Amanda Conner, art by Jimmy Palmiotti. Here's the recap of the series thus far. At the start of it, she was being hunted by a lot of assassins because someone put a huge bounty on her head. Later, she has some shenanigans with the roller derby team that she joined. And finally, a team up with Power Girl. Power Girl team up! The start of this series I found shaky because, and a lot of people made this comparison, it seems like they were trying to make Harley a lot like Deadpool in both humor and the way she kills people. But since then, it's really improved. They've toned down the Deadpoolish behavior, and the series really grew on me. I'm not a fan of Harley's new costume, but in this series, they've made some slight alterations, like maybe they'll add a jacket or just slight touches, or she'll wear different styles, which I really like. If you're a hardcore fan of Harley, 50-50 you might enjoy this. Not bad odds. And number 4, Batman. Written by Scott Snyder, art by Greg Capullo. And this year we saw Batman do the Time Warp. which I still think would be the coolest thing in the world. The entire Bat family doing the time warp. I mean, no, okay, focus. So we saw Batman's origins in the New 52, dealing with the Riddler taking over the city. Then we came back to the present for a Joker story. But what we really want to see now is the entire Bat family doing the time warp. It's just a jump to the left. I will always say that Zero Year went on far too long, not to be overly critical of Snyder, who's one of the best comic book writers out there. And Zero Year is worth to read. You just have to have patience with it, but it isn't a must get either. Since Endgame started and Joker's back, some serious stuff is going down. This is going to be the last arc for Snyder on Batman. I remember when his run started back in, actually before the reboot, he was writing for Dick Grayson as Batman, and it's a shame that had to end because he was carving out a niche and his own chapter for Grayson as Batman. He did some wonderful things with Bruce's Batman. He's done an amazing job with the character. I don't know who's going to follow him, but they got some big bad boots to fill. And number 3, Wonder Woman, written by Brian Azzarello, art by Clive Chang. And for the last about 3 years, Wonder Woman has been protecting baby Zeke, who's her baby brother, because Zeus is the dad and she's the daughter of Zeus. She's also been fighting the firstborn, who's Zeus's first child, is insane and bloodthirsty and trying to take over the throne. And that's only a little of the taste what Wonder Woman's been going through, yet you'd never be able to tell because she's flawless. She woke up like this. Brian Azzarello's run on Wonder Woman is an acquired taste, and that isn't a put down. It's just that it focused on Greek mythology, and that might not appeal to everybody. It absolutely reads better as a trade. If you read it in one sitting, it's awesome. If you were picking up the singles, it could have dragged from time to time, but still an excellent story. Chang's artwork is such a delight to my eyeballs. It was wonderful. It was one of the best comics in the DC New 52, and I was sad when Azzarello's run came to an end. And numero dos, Superman, Wonder Woman, written by Charles Soule, art by Tony S. Daniels. Superman and Wonder Woman are a power couple, like Jay-Z and Beyonce. Kal-El can drop some mad rhymes, yo. This series dealt with how the relationship between these two worked, and of course, villains from each of their roles coming in to ruin things because they jelly, and jelly not a good look. I'm not a fan of the Supes Wonder Woman relationship, but this series sold me on it. Diana's every bit the equal Clark is, and Charles Soule wrote her that way. There's some kick-ass drag-down action. It quickly became one of my favorite series. I highly recommend the first trade. Only the first trade. I am warning you. If you read past that, I am not responsible. And finally, at number 1, Green Arrow, written by Jeff Lemire, art by Andrew Sorrentino. And Green Arrow had a hectic year. He dealt with an ancient clan called the Outsiders, had a lovely stay at Count Vertigo's, and when he came back home, the city was taken over by a gang. And he had some family issues that would have made him the perfect guest on Jerry Springer. Is that reference still culturally relevant? This series was fun, action-packed, an emotional roller coaster. And I know that's a cliche to say. Lemire did a great job of writing the new Oliver, but keeping the heart of the old school Ollie. If you like the television show Arrow, do yourself a favor. Pick up Lemire and Sorrentino's run on Green Arrow. It's amazing. Sorrentino's artwork is awesome. I do not understand why he was never nominated for an Eisner. I just don't get it. He will be soon. He must be. That must be fixed. Their run on Green Arrow also came to an end this year, and it's a shame because it was seriously amazing. The year of Green Arrow. Definitely. That's it for me. At this point, you know the drill. Subscribe, like us, follow us, all that other good stuff. I'll be back next week, and fare thee well.